Oh man, after a year, we are back with Solo Leveling Season 2, and I gotta say, they made sure they started out mighty nice and on the right path. Because Lord knows, it's been a while since we had some solo leveling, and you know what? I gotta have some solo leveling in my life. And we are back at it, back with more reviews. And of course, for those that are new here that haven't seen last season's reviews, they are still here on the YouTube playlist. But also, as always, this is the first episode, so you are more than welcome to see my reactions for free on the Patreon. The link is down below. But I gotta say, there was a lot of amazement and a lot of like absolutely astonishment as Jinwoo just comes out strong out of the gate and shows them what is going on and why he is one of the best MCs we have and why the show keeps getting better and better. So let's get into this. There's a lot to go over and this might be a long episode, but hey, we'll see how it goes. So let's start with the updated look on Jinwoo as he is, being the good older brother to his sister. We had seen in the first season, she did come to him and say, hey, parent-teacher thing is happening and, our parents are gone. For those that don't know, the father is missing. He was a hunter, but he went missing. So that's why Jinwoo became a hunter himself, even though he was E rank, to make money, especially when his mother, who's in the hospital due to her sickness that affects some people. I believe it's like a sleeping sickness, they say, due to the whole influx of mana thanks to the gates and such that affects a small portion of the population, but their parents are gone, so he's taking care of his sister. And he cleaned up mighty nice, like, look at this. Now, one thing that was cut out from the manga, which this was a difference that I wish they kind of added in, but it wasn't like it detracted. Essentially, when he got a phone call from his sister, it was after 2 o'clock, and he's like, oh, snap, what time is the meeting? And she's at 5, and he's like, okay, all right, I'll take care of it. And then he runs into the bathroom and starts looking at himself all disheveled, just like, oh, maybe I need to clean myself up. And then he goes to the bank and there was a funny interaction with the bank teller, learning how much money he makes and such. But, all that was cut out, which was like, okay, that's fine. Because I will have to say, in the actual episode where it went from him being disheveled, waking up, to all of a sudden him appearing all nice, it was like, oh, okay, all right, that's kind of a good surprise. So I'm not mad at the fact that that was cut out. It was just some skipped content that could have been also funny. But I gotta say, the way he looks, the nice haircut, nice clothes, cleaning up, absolute, when you make money, this is the way it goes. Like, you know what, let me invest some of that money into me. So more than just the equipment of being a hunter, you gotta make sure you yourself look pretty good. And, what's the best way to look good but to look good in front of your family? Going up for a family like, yes, I am the older brother. And showing up and speaking with the teacher. So, hey, points and props to him, because you know what? He was there for his sister. He wasn't like, I don't know, deadbeat. And, it's like, some people, brother-sister relationships are kind of off. So, hey, he was there for her and, pulled out strong. And of course, that segues into how he met up with the girl that he had in season 1 on his team, realizing that she is his sister's like best friend. Of course, the whole plan was to bring her along to show how dangerous, oh, you're E rank and, hunting is actually a hard job. And yeah, you need to go to school and at least get your graduation. Try to help out the teacher. But they kind of changed some things when the gate was a red one, and it's definitely way more dangerous. After everything's said and done, it wouldn't surprise me if she does try to go back to school, because there's the whole looking up part. You can see there was moments where she kind of looked up to Jinwoo, because Jinwoo's been doing the right thing and trying to protect her. As he even said, he was the one that brought her to this gate, so it's his responsibility for her. And it's true. And it's like, yeah, I mean, she would have probably just left school there and just kind of hit the mall or tried to, did all the little teenage stuff herself. But he's like, hey, come on with me. Let me actually show you some things. Well, you know what? That never go over well. And things never really go over well with Jinwoo, but you know what? That's what makes a good MC, you know, having these situations come up and having to strive in some way to be better at it. Because if you're a gamer like me, you understand how escort missions are the bane of society. You escorting someone ends up being such a burden compared to just going off and killing enemies and getting, you know, getting kills and getting the victory. So, you know what? He has to go and not only help her, but the other people because they've been split up in half. Now, I can't believe this idiot. Once they find out how big of an issue it is, he's like, all right, let's split up, gang, like some Scooby-Doo adventure. And then even Jinwoo was like, what? He is supposed to be an A rank, and he's been getting special training. Now, one thing that was a difference that they downplayed in this episode is the whole guild stuff. They're all part of the White Tiger Guild. Now, they did talk about it a little bit, but not as much as it is in the manga. In the manga, almost like every other sentence is they keep bringing up White Tiger, White Tiger, White Tiger, and how these guys are like, oh, we're part of the White Tigers, and you know, how he wants to be part of the White Tigers. And then it's like, you kind of understand, like, I get it. They're not from the association, you know, the Hunter or whatever association, they're part of the guild. This is totally different. Well, in the anime, they really didn't talk that much about it. I think they're probably going to talk more about it in next episode or next coming episodes about guilds and such and why they're so important and who's over what. But this idiot, he's like, oh, let's split up, gang. And you already start to see how much of a problem he is. Not everyone is meant to lead, okay? Just because he might be at A rank, he might be super skilled, that doesn't mean you're automatically a leader per se. Because he goes off, and when there is an issue and there's a problem, the first thing he's like, all right, we need to get rid of, we gotta cut the chaff. We gotta get rid of the weak people. And that's not how it works out. Even my reaction was like, you're just gonna cut people off, albeit they may not be as skilled, they may not be like, you know, they're E rank, C rank, whatever, but you're just gonna cut them out just because of the ranks, and you don't even know they might be able to, what they could bring to the table. Their skills might be something like, oh, hey, I have fire abilities, so in this cold, my fire might keep people warm, you know, little things like that. No, you're just like, hey, you're just E rank, you're C rank, you know, goodbye. He didn't even ask Jinwoo's ability, what he could do. He didn't ask the little girl, what could she do? It was just like, oh, you're just E rank, oh, whatever. But he was like, looking later thinking, wait a minute, they have a B rank, which is the mage girl we'll talk about in a moment. They have her, and then they have other C ranks. Why'd I talk to this dude like he's the leader? And it was like, yeah, because of that aura on him. Because Sung Jinwoo was just sitting there and, you know, saved the girl with grabbing the arrow. Yeah, of course you addressed him like he's the leader because he's been acting like one. But no, you're the dummy that's like, hey, let's split up, gang. We can find a way out of here if we just split up. Yeah, you a dummy. And that doesn't surprise me that by the end of the episode, his expression totally changes. And yeah, the way that everyone else died around him and his gang, which you knew that was going to happen, and how the elves kind of let him run away, it wouldn't surprise me if he finds Jinwoo's camp and it's like, wait a minute, you guys are supposed to be dead. Why are you guys alive? Because, you know, whenever you have someone that has so prideful, especially in the beginning of the episode, be so prideful and then fall from grace, you just love to see that moment that they fall and the expressions on their face like, yeah, if only you had, you know, done the right thing from go, everything would be better. But, c'est la vie, you know, it is what it is. I'll go through the some differences real quick. Now, the differences between the show and the actual manga as far as skipped content, there was only some small things. For the most part, they kind of stick with what was in the manga. Sorry, manhwa, actually, because it's actually Korean manga and not Japanese. So The manhwa, really for the most part, they stuck with it. The only real differences I thought were kind of interesting was one, Egress here, when he fought that bear, that was such a one-sided fight that I'm like, oh my lord. Now, in the manhwa, the only thing they included, which was so cool, was when Egress cut off the bear's head, he caught it midair, like he caught it by the tuft of his hair and then threw the head down to Jinwoo's feet and then kind of bowed down. It's like, oh man, I just wish they did add just those couple more frames. Like here in the anime, he cut off the head and it just kind of flew over the Jinwoo. Nah, just the fact that Icarus dominated the bear so badly and then caught his head and then was like, yeah, and here you go, sir. Here you are, master. And it's like, just that, it was just would have been so good. Aside from that, as always, there's going to be conversations. Like for example, the teacher did talk a little bit more to Jinwoo versus the anime. There's always going to be those conversations that are going to be cut down for time. As an anime, it may showcase the actual interaction instead of just verbally talking it out, because those are differences between an actual visual content that an anime can portray versus a manhwa comic that, everyone has to talk and say what's going on as you are reading it and filling in kind of the fights and stuff with your imagination. So one thing here, this girl, she is the highest rank in Jinwoo's side. She's a B rank mage. She actually kind of rubbed against Jinwoo a little bit. Like, here we see where she was talking about the bears and how Jinwoo was like, come on. Of course we want to go into the territory of bears. Well, in the manhwa, she was very more confrontational about it. Like she was kind of using her status like, oh, I'm a higher rank than you, so you need to listen to me. And Jinwoo kind of, when he explains to her how that's a bad idea, her expression wasn't that, it was more visual when she realized she was the one that was wrong. Like here, it was like, just a little, oh, and the manhwa was like, oh snap, I am wrong. And then when the bear shows up to fight them in the forest, she like runs in front and was like, see, I told you this is a bad idea to be in the forest with these bears, man. Why do we listen to you, Jinwoo? And then he comes off, pulls her back, snatches her back actually, and fights the bears barehanded. Her personality, I think, would have shown just a little bit more. Instead of being matter-of-factly, like how, she was observant and seeing Jinwoo catch the ice arrow, but we would have, as an audience, maybe had not hold her in as high of esteem if we kind of saw her being more confrontational with Jinwoo as he shows how much more he knows than the people from the White Tiger Guild. It's splitting hairs. It's not that big a deal, but it's just like, okay, this is what happened that can kind of get missed when you change genres from a manhwa to an anime. When you kind of change it, there are some things that need to be cut. So it wasn't that big of a deal, but as you can hear from what I'm saying, it kind of would just change some viewpoints of how we see characters. So as far as the opening and ending is concerned, normally we'll probably break down section by section as far as all the things that we had seen. I will just kind of give an overview, if you will. The fact that the opening is done by Lisa, I mean, as someone that really is in anime, this singer, Lisa, you are one of the best singers out there. Your openings, no matter if you did an opening, closing for any anime, it's just always on point. And just to see Lisa's career just get even better and better, from all these different songs, from even myself that's seen from way back in Sword Art Online to all the stuff that we have nowadays, just absolutely, it's done by Lisa, it's going to be good. It's just the way it is. So have an opening like this with so much, if anything, this opening has so many like fights and choreography that were like, oh my God, I can't wait to see the actual episodes if they do all these fights. Spoiler wise, there was some spoilers here and there, nothing too crazy, I'll be honest, it's been a while since I've read the manga of Solo Leveling, so a lot of it's still kind of like, trying to remember myself. So if I see something that's definitely not like, oh, I remember, it's kind of like, wait, what's going on here? Like for here, for example, we had seen at the end of the first season how these guys were getting ready to go somewhere to attack some of the creatures that were going. Now these guys were preparing for an attack of some creatures, so it kind of is in the actual theme song as well. So well, I'm sure this is another guild and we'll see more of these characters in the future. So overall, like I said, this main theme song was all about a lot of fights and just a lot of good things happening one after another. And it's just the visuals and the graphical aspects of each visual is just so stunning and so striking that it's like one thing happens here and then another thing happens here. So you kind of just jump back and forth instead of just like a smooth, like, if you look at anime, like for example, a rom-com, it's going to have a lot of cute moments and a lot of smiles and a lot of cutesy things. But then an action anime like this is like, here's this happening. And then all of a sudden there's that happening. And then you start to see like, okay. So for example, like in the fighting here with Jinwoo against this creature, that it's like, okay, all right, there was a lot of fighting, a lot of action, which made this opening very thrilling and very fun to actually see. So I'm looking forward to a lot of fights that may be happening this season as more of this happens. Now, as far as for the ending is concerned, I like the comparisons that the ending was showcasing. So if you remember the ending from the first season, there was we saw a lot of the older self of Jinwoo, like he's being trapped and trying to break free and such. Now here we see a lot of like the better version of Jinwoo, the one that actually can fight. If you notice, there was like a lot of Greek mythology or a lot of Greek comparisons here. Like you had like, for example, the whole shawl over him. We saw like all the generals as he's marching through, a lot of columns, eating of grapes and such. So you see a lot of like, okay, this is the better version of Jinwoo as he goes to his throne, showcasing how much stronger and mightier he is, like him lending a hand to the weaker version of himself. As if he's accepting, okay, this was my past, now this is my future. So there was a lot of illusionary comparisons that I saw in this ending that I, showcased by the song of TK, which if you've heard any of TK's songs, he has that distinct voice that is like, okay, all right. This is on point. So both the opening and ending, in my opinion, were just so good that I am looking forward to this season. It's gonna be absolutely massive. They have done a great job catering and making sure that this anime is done right. Like they are making sure that, okay, we have here a webtoon that was so popular, so many people read it. Now we're going to put this on display in an anime. We have to make sure everything is on point, and they have thus far hit it out of the park. They continue to hit it out of the park each and every moment. So whether it's the opening, whether it's the ending, whether it's the episodes, like they make sure the important parts are there. And we just see more of Jinwoo as he just keeps getting bigger and better with each episode. So I'm looking forward to this season. I am looking forward to reviewing this season. So I hope you guys, please make sure you guys like the video, make sure you guys subscribe, because I love to see more of you guys around. And definitely after watching this far into it, leave a comment as far as what your guys' opinions are on this, because I am enjoying this and will enjoy it for a whole another season as we keep watching Sung Jinwoo do even bigger and better things. Hit that bell icon, to get notified when more reviews are coming out, because we'll definitely have more anime to discuss and talk about. And I enjoy doing this and just showcasing as much as I can. And, whether you guys agree with it or disagree, please tell me, because I love the input and love to hear what you guys have to say as things are going along, no matter what part of the anime process it is. Anyway, you guys be safe, you take care, and Lord willing, I will see you more in the future. And hey, don't forget, Patreon, the episode reaction is free. Check it out. Take care. Bye-bye for now.
This ain't what you want, bitch, I'm a fucking phenomenon.